Hey, meaningful movers. Welcome back to Moving with Meaning, the podcast where actions have meaning, words have meaning, and we open up the conversations to discover what's your next move. I'm your host, Krystal. In today's episode, it's all about the unlikely of companions and the profound impact they can have in our lives. But you know how it is and what we do. We need to set that theme, so let's go ahead and do that. The word of the day is dormant. Have you ever felt that you were capable of more, but didn't know where to begin? Or perhaps you were missing the motivation. Whatever the case, you have it now, and it came through the most unlikely, unimaginable connection. That's enough of me talking. How about we introduce our guest? There's no one better to do that than herself. Evelyn, why don't you give the people a bit of background about yourself, and let's talk about what you're going to share with us today.
Right. Hello, Krystal. Hi, everyone. My name is Evelyn. I live in Singapore. I have pugs, as in dogs, in my life. They've been really great. Highly recommended. I have recently written a book called Awakening Love, The Journey of Luck, Love, and Pug Wisdom. This book is about my dog, who's a pug. His name was Ming Yu. I say was because Ming Yu passed away about 3 years ago. But he is such a different dog, I feel. But maybe all parents feel that way about their dogs. But he is different. This book is about my tribute to him and how he taught me lessons that I never thought was possible coming from a four-legged kid of mine.
I love that because it's just the different interactions from people that, or just entities
Yes.
that we have. And then just the impact that they have on us. And it's great because you don't expect it. And when it happens, you're like, what? And two, everything's good if it inspires you to write a book, period. 100%.
It is. Yeah.
I know you had asked me before, you're like, are you a dog lover? So it's so interesting for me. Yes, I do like and love dogs, but I'm like afraid of them.
Oh, you're afraid of them? Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Like for me, it's weird, but for other people, I found other people who have this same affinity. It's like because he can't talk, so I'm afraid of how everything, like how his paw would feel and the nose and everything. It's like a texture thing. So I'm kind of like, I just get anxiety around it. But I still love dogs. I love them. I love how loyal they are. I love how protective they are and how just warm and fuzzy.
Yes.
Anyway, so let me not get too deep in that. So you grew up with a dog, but this dog was more like a watchdog, right?
Yes, I remember having a dog at 5 years old, but that dog was bigger than I am. We didn't know about it then. The dog that my dad brought home, it grew up to become a Great Dane, and you know how big Great Danes are. And then that dog, her name was Queenie. She's really big, and you know when you are small like 5, and the moment she sees you, she's very excited. When she comes in through the door, I'll be running, screaming for my life, right? So I can imagine, Krystal, what you said when you're afraid of them, and that actually made me afraid of a dog, just like maybe you. But this dog that I have, because he's a pug and he's a smaller size one, right? They're supposedly lap dogs. I never wanted this dog, Krystal, and when I got it, Ming Yu was only like palm size. You know, when you open your palm, he was only this big, and he was 6 weeks old. When the dog grew up with me, we never thought that we would be afraid of it because they are like a kid that grew up with you, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can draw a parallel. I mean, if you were never a parent with kids, real human kids, right? You will be having a bit of a misgiving about, you know, how will it be? Will I be a great mom and all that kind of thing? But it's the same thing. We were so in love with the pug from day one, actually.
And so he came into your life differently, right? It was like, hey, my mentor was having these dogs. Tell me about that. Because you didn't go looking for Ming Yu. He found you.
I didn't go looking for Ming Yu. It was actually a mentor who's also my spiritual guide, my guru. He had a pair of pugs. And then this pair of pugs, actually, in total, I counted about 25 babies they had in different litters.
Ooh,
so he gave it away to people whom they felt would need a dog. Okay. So he has a different divine view about it. So let's not get into that yet. But yeah, so this dog was given to me. And we knew that mom was going to be very against dogs, right? Because she's the cleanest in the house. So she didn't want any of that. I wanted not to take it. And then he says, no, your mom will love it. Don't
Like, you
worry.
don't know my mama.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no, I was like praying, if she was to love the dog, let it be ASAP, right? Because otherwise there would be a turmoil in the house as it is.
Yes.
Things have its way of working itself out, Krystal. The heavens will decide what to do with it.
Oh, goodness. So your mom just fell in love with him, huh?
Less than one day.
You're right. I mean, I think everybody just need to be open to possibilities. You never
True.
know.
True.
There was a lotto challenge that you were talking to me about. What? Tell me about this funny story before we get into the lessons, because we got to lead into this.
Right. That's why the title of the part of the title was The Journey of Luck. Because in Singapore, we have all these lottery runs every weekend. And Ming Yu came to us on a Sunday. And we are Chinese. We love to play the lottery. Yeah. And it's not big money, right? It's just, like a couple of bucks here and there. So on the day he arrived, I made all these small little numbers written on paper. And then I made 10 numbers and I put it over his head, And then whatever the number that stuck on his head, that was the first number. And then we did it 4 times. And maybe, some of your readers might try it with their lotto. They may get really lucky, right? So we just put it 4 times. And then we jotted down the number and we went to the shop and we bought the number. So Mom saw us doing that. She said to the dog, if this number comes out tonight, only then I will love you. She gave him the challenge. At 7 p.m., we were all sitting at the edge of our seats, all the friends who knew about our situation. And guess what? The number did come out as one of the 20 numbers that came out. We didn't get the first prize, second or third prize. We got somewhere in the middle, right? So but it was a number that really came out. And then we were like, oh my gosh, I could as though the whole place was resounding with the laughter. And for me and my sister, it was the joy, because Grandma has no choice but to keep to her word, to love the boy. We were still a bit skeptical, but by the next day, Mom was eating out of his little paw. Really.
Yeah. Aww.
That was so funny. And it's just not just at any one time. Even if I were to go to, I should see a number and I add a 9 because it's a K9, right? He's a K9. And it's a 3 number. So I go, okay, I'll just add a 9. And I go buy the number. And then you know what? It comes out. So I think that's his way of, paying it forward for his little treats and stuff like that. Throughout all his life, he had numbers that we just randomly buy that's associated with him, and it'll come out,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That was so funny. Yeah. But that was the journey of luck that I was referring to. But he was just a lucky boy for us. He changed the dynamics of the home. We are an Asian household. We are not used to the Western style of saying I love you and things like that. It makes us embarrassed, right, to say this. Maybe the younger generation.
Look, we are more connected than you think. It ain't over here like that either. So I had to go through it too. All right. We're connected, girlfriend. Don't worry about that. All right. Go ahead. Keep with your story. I'm so sorry.
No, but with Ming Yu, when we come home, we will go, hi, Mom. And then, where's the little baby boy? Things like that. We never used to say that. We don't go, oh, hello, Mommy. How have your day been? We don't do this kind of stuff. But with the puppy, we do that. And, it kind of changed the vibes in the home, Krystal. How it does, children, puppies. I think they do have that special touch,
Yeah. This leads into one of the lessons that you mentioned. So this was awakening love.
Yes.
And that you needed something to bring that forth. And I love that, because that's why I said dormant, because it's always there.
Yes. The title Awakening Love, there's a reason behind why this is called Awakening Love. Is because in all of us, there is always this love, and we just need something to bring it out and to awaken this which is in all of us. If you don't have that catalyst, it doesn't come up to the fore. Only when I had Ming Yu, then we realized that, oh, I have this ability to love something like that. It's different from the human kind. Like, you love your parent, you love your other parts of the family. But it's different. And this kind of love is unconditional. Right? Maybe if you have kids, yes, it's unconditional, but sometimes you're still like, oh God, you are so naughty and things like that. Or with the dog, yeah, you're naughty, but it's okay, that kind of thing. But it's also talking about love for yourself, love, compassion, the empathy that you have. And this is something not just as a titling to grab someone, but really through this dog. And I know this dog is different because after Ming Yu, I have 2 more pugs. They are very different. You don't know how different something is until you have something as a comparison, right, Krystal?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, after I got my 2 new ones, the 2 young pugs that I have, then I realized Ming Yu was different from these 2. They love us. I love the dogs, but it is just that vibe is very different. Ming Yu he's very playful, but he's also able to be calm. You can
Very
tell.
intuitive.
Yes, he's very intuitive. And that's why I say he taught me lessons, Very simple things. But if you actually look at what he did and then you try to draw parallels with our own human life, then you go, oh my gosh, he's actually teaching me something. It's not just me teaching him how to say high five. It's just something different.
Yeah. Okay. Let me comment on this one. So it's almost an emotional conversation, but I think with dogs, it's about micro behaviors, right?
Meaning?
Because they cannot speak. They cannot tell you what they want. They cannot tell you, I love you. And they truly have to show it. And I think that is so important because people say a lot of things.
Yes.
And their actions never meet it. Not always. I'm not going to say never. But it's very difficult for us to kind of do what we say that we're doing or that we're going to do. And dogs are the reverse because they don't have the language. So their actions are always on the forefront, right? And that's why it's so confident that you can say all these things because he showed you. And I love that lesson in general, just from being an animal and not being able to have that discourse. There are other forms of connection. And I think a lot of people just need to match both. Like we have an advantage than the dogs do. Because we can actually voice this, right?
Sometimes it becomes our crutch because we talk too much and we think too little, Isn't it so?
Yeah.
If you think about people who are not able to speak, to see, they feel things differently from people who have all the faculties, right?
Yeah.
With Ming Yu, the situation is that it can be something so simple as a walk in the park. But when I see him doing his thing, like for example, he avoids a particular dog who loves him.
Everybody love Ming Yu.
Play with him. But she's a Jack Russell, beautiful Jack Russell. But the way she plays, because she's got a sharp nose, right? Versus Ming Yu, who's a flat face, brachycephalic face, right? He doesn't appreciate being poked in the eye, right? So the moment he sees her coming, he takes one big loop around the park just to avoid her versus just walking on that path, which is the point to that place that he wants to get. But he will just walk there. And to me, right, when I try to draw that parallel, I go, wow, that is something to be learned, right? Because if I think about that, then I go, well, that looks like us having not such a great relationship maybe, or want to avoid a certain situation. Instead of banging our head face on with another person and having a big disagreement, why don't we just, for this time, today, circumvent the situation, walk another way, and come back another day, And that is not to be seen as a weakness in us just to avoid the situation. It is a strength for us to be able to choose a different path, and then maybe we will come to an agreement in another way, coming in from another direction. So I thought about that a bit, and I go, wow, he just taught me a lesson, Krystal. I thought about that, so I don't know. Is it me just reading too much into it, or I've gone bonkers or something?
No. No, absolutely not. And I think that is a very good point. When people are met with aggression, they immediately want
Yeah.
to respond that way because I don't want to be taken advantage of. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the only way that I know of to stand up to a bully, right? Is to
True.
meet them, quote unquote, like how we talk about meet people where they are kind of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, yes, you should, but don't take that too far out of context. You know what I mean? Just
Mm.
because they are coming at you with a level of aggression doesn't mean that you have to meet them there, because that is not the correct way, right?
Yeah.
My son taught me a lesson very similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a car and I was driving home and the kids were out playing like football or something, his age. I said, oh, don't you want to go play out with your friends and stuff? And before he said, oh yeah, sure, he looked and he said, hold on, let me see who's out there.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
said, okay. And he goes, no, I don't. And so we turned around and got in the car and he said, the reason I don't want to go, Mom, because I saw someone out there that's a bully.
Okay.
I don't want to go up being around him because I don't want to become a bully too. Because he knew that if someone met him with aggression, he wasn't going to back down. So he immediately changed the tune and said, well, I will remove myself from the environment. I'm not going to lose or gain anything by jumping into that, right?
Wow.
And what ended up happening is I told him, I said, okay, that's great. And I really respect that. I said, but you should
Yeah.
resolve that issue because you don't want to be seen as, right, someone who doesn't deal well with conflict
Yes.
either.
Right.
And, you know, and I left it alone. And the next thing you know, him and this kid walk back and forth from the bus stop together. He goes to his birthday parties, everything. They were able to resolve that. When I'm telling you, my child is 9. He's 9.
I think he's got very, very high EQ. And yes,
I think so too.
I would be so proud of him.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Without any coaching or anything from me, he did
Yeah.
this. Oh man, I love this. I love to draw these parallels, and it's just children and dogs can teach adults with a whole life of lessons so much more. You know.
Yes.
So
yes.
I like your fun fact, and I want to end on this really good. Like I think this is a good conclusion to this because you have a fun fact, and I think it's a fun fact, but it's kind of like, but you wrote your book during recovery from brain surgery, right?
Yes, I did.
What? Tell me about it.
Well, in middle of January, I suddenly had a big thunderclap headache. And then I went into emergency room and I had an MRI and they told me, girl, you have an aneurysm the size of a grape, a large grape. Apparently it has deflated. That means blood spewed out of it. That's why I got this big symptom of the headache. So 3 days later, I went into surgery. And it was a big surgery. It took 5 hours. The doctor told me I could have 3 options. One, I came out scathe-free. Everything was fine. But there's a possibility, high possibility, I'm blind on the left side because the aneurysm was just behind my left eye. I could become a vegetable or paralyzed on one side. Because of where the nerves were it was all at the cross section behind my eye. So I could be blind, I could be a vegetable, I could be half paralyzed or whatever it is. It's because of the way my blood flowed and all that. So we went into surgery. The good thing is I'm a Buddhist. I believe that my guru would pray for me and he told me, go ahead with it, you'll be okay. I don't think I ever prayed so much in my life.
Of course, right?
Yeah, and I came out from it. I checked all my fingers and toes and I think everything is working. The doctor came and spoke to me and he says, you did very, very well. And you know what? This is my second lease of life. At that time, I was going on this book writing journey, but I have not decided what I was going to write. Actually, my title was going to be something else. And then I realized that I did not have much time because I was following a group of friends who are doing it. I have to write this very first thing that hit me because I wanted to write about Ming Yu for some time. I never got around to it. So I said, this is the first order of the day. I'm going to write this book. And I said, I will keep it short and simple because I don't know how long I have in my life or if there's anything that was going to happen halfway through, right? So I got discharged and I wrote out the book and I wrote it in about maybe 10 days.
Fantastic.
In a big rush. So I don't think I really rested at all during my medical leave. I had like 2 months.
Could have been doing, yeah. Actually, that was probably the rest, though.
Yeah, because, I think after the aneurysm was taken or snipped off or whatever it was, in my mind, I was so clear of what I wanted to do. It's like,
Mm.
oh my gosh, second lease of life, better make full use of it. So that's
Yes.
how I wrote the book. I encourage anyone. I mean, if there's something that you really want to do, don't wait for having an operation before you do that, because you never know. I mean, we all know that death is given for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we take it for granted,
Mm-hmm.
life, and you don't know when and you don't know how you're gonna go. So that's my biggest wake up call. And I'm glad, I have a podcast to record this life. Thank you, Krystal.
Very well. I love this. Look, you dropped just one of your lessons from that book in this episode, and it was phenomenal. Are there any golden nuggets that you just want to add some ketchup for the folks out there?
Yeah, the big one that I have is that live life passionately. I think that is the main thing in the light of what I just said. I mean, in my book, actually, there was one of the chapters where I said live passionately as well, because Ming Yu had health problems as well. So I think, in whatever you do, just live passionately and never regret a day in your life, be it with humans, be it with something you want to do. But at the end of the day, the people who live around with you, who work with you, who live with you, I think these are all going to be people whom we should be nice to live together. I hope the world was more peaceful,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people who may not have our kind of life, Krystal.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate, right? We live in a place more or less have certain peace. So I hope everybody will be peaceful in time to come. I'm the eternal optimist, Krystal.
Of course. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. That's the episode today. It never amazes me, the power of connection. We can get so wrapped up in expectations that we close ourselves off from unleashing our full potential. I wonder if that is the setup to catch us off guard and slip through the cracks in our armor. The next thing you know, you've grown beyond the barriers that you yourself put up. I truly appreciate Evelyn for sharing her experience and the message of strength that her furry pup has left with her. Have you experienced a type of awakening in you that you've recognized only after that entity has departed? I'd love to hear all about it and the wisdom you've gained from it. I love it all, and so will someone else. Before I let you go, Evelyn, why don't you go ahead and remind the people who you are, where they can find your resources or reach out to you?
Sure. This is Evelyn. I am from Singapore. I thank Krystal for allowing me to be on your podcast. But before I go, I'm giving a free chapter of my book, Awakening Love, The Journey of Luck, Love, and Park Wisdom, which is found on Amazon.com. I think Krystal will be able to put that in the notes to the podcast later on. And if you click on a link over there, I'm offering the first chapter of this book for you as a trial. And if you wish to buy it, you can get it off Amazon.com. Thank you very much, Krystal.
You are very welcome. That is so kind of you, actually, and very fortunate that you're going to do that for the folks. I'll make sure to include all of Evelyn's resources and connections in the episode description, as well as on my website's resources page, movingwithmeaning.com. Make sure you guys subscribe to the show, Moving With Me in the podcast, and tap that alert bell so you know when these episodes drop. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Please share, like, repost, and follow. Tag someone. We're creating a community. Quick housekeeping before you go. Follow me on Instagram at movingwithmeaning82 and on Pinterest at Arthur KB Clark. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn. I do dabble in TikTok at Krystal B. Clark. My Etsy store has some handy-dandy digital downloads. Leslie, run over to my YouTube channel and have a look or two. Links are in the episode. Alrighty, I'm Krystal on Moving With Meaning, the podcast, reminding you to take it one step at a time. All moves have meaning. Check y'all later.